tuning in. I am not sure how we did it, and frankly, I don't think we can ever do it again. The planets have certainly aligned with us today. We're bringing you some very special individuals. You're going to hear more and more about them in the weeks and months to come. So we're thankful that they agreed to share some time with us today. So stop what you're doing, get rid of any distractions, because what you're about to hear today may have a profound impact on your future. So first off, let me introduce my associates. Welcome Mr. Luis Cruz. Luis is a co-master distributor at Vidacup International. Luis has been involved in Vidacup from day one, actually, pre-day one. Luis comes to us from both a field and corporate background in network marketing. He's an experienced team builder, creating groups in excess of 4,000 members. So we're super excited to have him on the call. Welcome, Luis.
Thank you, Shane, and thank you for having me in the call. And it's really exciting times, and I'm going to tell you that after many years in this industry, I think I finally found the definition of first class, and that's Vidacup International. So it is really an honor to be here tonight and hear, from a special guest. So, thank you for having me on the call.
Our pleasure, our pleasure. And the next person, the rising star himself, Mr. Corey Cromray. He has had great success in prior network marketing ventures where he built a significant team and income. In his own words, Corey is fired up about the opportunity here at Vidacup International, and since starting just a short time ago has established himself as the field leader to watch. So welcome, Corey.
Thank you, Shane. Thank you, Louis. Thank you, Mr. Jeff Mack, for having me on. I am just absolutely privileged and honored to be able to partake in this awesome opportunity. Like you said, I am absolutely fired up. I have never had my hands on such a significant opportunity to cherish and to hold in my life forever. So thank you so much.
Outstanding, outstanding. And of course, my name is Shane Zussman. I'm also a field leader here at Vidacup International. I'm working closely with Corey and Louis to grow the team and our business. I come here today with over 20 years of sales experience prior to joining Vidacup International, and am super excited to see our team expand exponentially, and I'm certainly looking forward to the future. Now, the reason that we've all gathered here today is Mr. Jeff Mack, Chief Executive Officer of Vidacup International. He's been in the industry for over 20 years, built organizations with total sales over $90 million. Not only that, but he was a contributing author to the Ultimate Guide to Network Marketing and has earned millions over the course of his network marketing career. So welcome, Mr. Mack.
Shane, thanks for having me on. It's a privilege to share this platform with you and Corey and Luis, and to talk a little bit more about our great company.
Fantastic, fantastic. So let's get going. Mr. Mack, please tell us and the audience a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, Shane, as you said, I've been in the industry for over 20 years. It's actually 22 now. My professional training is as a civil engineer. I got a degree, like most folks, kind of was getting ready to follow that 40-year plan, get a good education, get a good job, work for 40 years, and live happily ever after. And frankly, the rules of the game changed, and I learned that they were changing on me somewhere around 1989, 1990, when the economy was very, very soft. And the companies that I worked for, the contractors and the real estate developers, were in having very difficult times. In fact, in the span of about 18 months, I had 3 different employers, and not by choice. And so I realized that the rules of the game were changing, and that we had to do something ourselves as individuals to to shelter ourselves from this economic turbulence that was the course of the day then. Of course, it's come around. History repeats itself, and we're in that same situation today. So I, as coming from a family of entrepreneurs, I looked for businesses that I could get into, and I was introduced to the network marketing industry. And for the first time, I actually sat down with someone who could explain the distribution concept to me, and not the hype and all of that, but the actual fundamentals of the distribution concept, and it made a ton of sense to me. So I actually began to build a business part-time in 1990 with what is today a very, very large company, and I spent a year, worked with some top leaders, and then helped to launch another company in the very early stages, and had the good fortune of working with teams both domestically here in the U.S., but also internationally throughout Asia and a little bit of Europe. And that company went, from the period of time that I was there, from about $2 million in annual sales when I joined to over $300 million in annual sales in 3 short years, or I'm sorry, in about 10 years. And so in that period of time, I watched and saw what can happen with a company, what can happen with individuals in those companies, and those folks that were positioned at the right time, and more importantly, recognized it and took massive action, how they could transform their lives and the lives of others. And so frankly, I've been looking for another growth environment for the past 10 years, and everything kind of, as you said earlier in the call, the moon and the stars lined up to where not only did I find one, but I was actually able to help create one here with Vidacup. And I believe that we're going to see this company go on to prominence within this industry, and those of you listening here that recognize where you're positioned are going to be able to do some historical things and look back in 10 years and say, man, I'm awfully glad I did.
Very, very exciting. What an outstanding story. So having said that, let's get started. Now today we have the opportunity to ask 3 questions of Vidacup International CEO Jeff Mack, or as I say, the $90 million man. So myself, Luis, and Corey are each going to ask 1 question that we feel is important. So get out your notepads or your smartphones and take advantage of this opportunity to get inside the head of an industry leader. So, Mr. Mack, are you ready, sir?
Let's do it.
Outstanding, outstanding. Well, I'm going to get the first question, and you know what? I love this quote by Earl Nightingale that says, "You become what you think about most of the time." So my question is, in terms of mindset, based on your experience, what are the thoughts of a $1 million producer?
Well, you know, it's interesting, Shane, that you started with an Earl Nightingale quote, because when I first got involved in this industry, I was a very, young 25-year-old gentleman on high interest credit card debt, and was not very successful financially. And I learned immediately that I needed to change the way I looked at things, to change the way I thought. And The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale was one of his very first series, case series at that time that opened my eyes to the fact that, the strangest secret is you do become what you think about. Your dominant thoughts drive you to where you want to go. So one of the great learning experiences that I've had over my years is to be able to work with some top and learn from some top-notch $1 million earning leaders, multi-million-dollar earning leaders, and emulate them. And I will tell you that without a doubt, bar none, they all have several things in common. Number one is they do have the ability, and they recognize the importance of controlling their state of mind. Not getting too excited, but also not getting down, staying kind of serially positive, if you will. Every glass that's filled halfway can be looked at by 2 different mindsets. Glasses half full, glasses half empty. Those $1 million producers are glasses half full kind of people. They understand there are problems, but they don't dwell on it. They don't major in minors. They look for reasons why things can work, not reasons why they can't. And so that's number one, is not only do they repel negatives, and they control their state of mind to the positive and input positive things into their mind. They don't watch things like the news or read newspapers. They continually look to improve themselves and feed their mind with positive things. Books and podcasts these days, and audio series from people like Earl Nightingale, the classics from Jim Rohn, more recently Tony Robbins, and the individuals that really help you kind of mold your mind. So that is one trait that every wildly successful person that I know, have in common. Now, the other thing is those individuals learn how to control their time. They manage their time well, meaning, and this kind of goes along with the first point, but the fact is they don't spend time on things they can't control. And they spend time doing things that help them get to where they want to go. Now that brings up another point, is you have to have a deep understanding of where you want to go and take some time to really map out your future and set goals. And we'll talk about that in our training programs. You'll hear that from your leadership. But aside from having those written goals, people that have the ability to manage their time and spend time doing only those things that are going to help them get toward those goals, that's another common trait in very successful people. So they're passionately driven to doing things that help achieve those objectives. And one other thing that I found, and this is more of an evolutionary, when you evolve. And when I first got involved in this industry, I was driven purely by the finances. Now, obviously financial success is important, but there's success outside of yourself, success, for being able to give to the causes that you want, and philanthropy, and kind of coming from a service-oriented mindset. Very successful people that are also happy with themselves are those folks that obviously want to be financially successful, but they also want to make the world a better place. Now, one other thing, and that is, and I touched on it earlier, is that all these million-dollar producers and these top earners continually strive to improve, continually work on learning new things, on developing their mindset. And one of the mistakes that I find people make is once they feel like they've arrived, and frankly, I made this mistake myself. Once I started making really good money in this industry, it becomes sometimes easy to forget these principles that help you get there and be a little bit complacent about the environment you put yourself in, or about the people that you find yourself hanging around, or about the things you find yourself listening to or not listening to. And so you constantly also have to be cognizant of that and continue to strive to improve. And if you do that, and if you work hard, and hard work is also one of those concepts that no successful person is scared of, and they understand that it takes hard work, it takes effort, and it takes energy, and not just for an hour, not just for a week, and not just for a month, but for years to get there. But it 2, 3, 4, 5 years of disciplined hard work, of consistent, focused execution will help you get where you want to go. Will set yourself up for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years and leave a legacy for those that follow you. So those are the things that immediately stand out in my mind, Shane, that all these top producers have in common.
That is outstanding. Thank you so much for sharing. I mean, I think I ran out of paper and ran out of ink taking notes on that one. So for all of you listening, back this up and go through that again. Those are some nuggets right there that you're going to want to get. So super. So let's do this. Let's shoot this over to Corey. And Corey, obviously this is an exciting opportunity. I know you've been thinking about this, so fire away with your question.
Wonderful. Well, wow, man. I don't know, Mr. Mack. I think you're just going to sign me up all over again because, I know that everything rises and falls on leadership, and with an answer like that, wow, I just strongly believe in what we're doing here. But I guess, what I'm thinking about right now is, Viktor Frankl said it best. He said, we do not determine our purpose, we detect it. Now, I've had a lot of questions coming at me lately from a lot of friends in the industry, and they're saying, what are you doing? Where'd you go? And obviously that's going to lead me into my question. Mr. Mack, for the top producers out there in the industry today, obviously we know there's a certain level of success in every company that's admired throughout the industry. So for the top producers out there, what does Vidacup International offer that other similar companies cannot? And what's that unique selling proposition for the company?
Well, that's a great question, and I would answer it like this. First off, our products, coffee is a huge $125 billion a year industry, so clearly, we're not the first coffee company out there, right? But I will tell you this. I believe, and I find that's the first functional coffee and beverage company in our industry to this extent. And more importantly, and there's other great companies out there in our industry, great companies that actually sell, that sell similar products to ours. But the real unique selling proposition for our product is, and if you haven't done so yet, I want you to listen to the material that Dr. Daria Davidson puts out about our H1X1 super concentrated uric acid. It is a very unique peptide extraction of what I believe to be, and many scientists believe to be, the world's most powerful immune system modulator. And when you learn what that means and what the product does, you'll be blown away. And in fact, there is, if you have the good fortune of visiting me in my office here in Mooresville, you'll see a binder that I have of nothing but clinical studies from the National Institute of Health and University of North Carolina and University of Pittsburgh and the University of Tokyo and University of Paris and all, I mean, literally a stack that's, probably if you could just open your hand up as wide as it can go, that's about the stack, the size of the stack of clinical studies. So this is a product that is an ingredient that is literally life-changing. Now, because, we're a beverage company, we're not a drug company, you can draw your own conclusions as to what kind of benefits people, see from using the product and for taking all of the Vidacup products and using them. But I believe that you'll find health be improved in a profound way by literally hundreds of thousands of people as they use our product. And that, if you look and do some research, that's the one unique selling proposition that we have from a real tangible point of view. From an intangible point of view, I will tell you that the management team you have within the company, the people that are driving this from the corporate side, have been successful entrepreneurs, both in the traditional business world, but also in the network marketing world. And I can tell you that Roy and Donna and my colleagues are some of the most talented, sharpest people that I know, and the experience that I've had being with companies that started from small and went to big, and some of them went back to small again, and companies that did business on a multinational scale and successful business. I believe I have a very unique set of experiences that can, number one, help understand the power of momentum, but number two, understand the importance of not killing that momentum and do what you can to feed that momentum for years to come. We are in the product business. We're in the coffee business. We're in the functional beverage business. But frankly, we're in the people business. And I've seen companies that didn't understand that, and they didn't understand that they're only as good as their people are happy and productive. And there's, I think, a real key to getting people in that mind space. And I believe, working on the field side, the years that Don and I have in particular, that we've got a good understanding of what that takes and what we as distributors, brand promoters, need to see, want to see, and what gives us confidence. And so those are the things, Corey, that I really think sets Vidacup apart. Now, time will tell in large measure, other than the stuff you read about the product. You're going to have to take some of this, on faith, but I believe that we'll look back in a couple years and understand that the experiences that you have in the past, if you learn from them, and then you apply what you've learned, you can create a much better future. And I think you'll see that manifested in Vidacup.
That's outstanding, and such strong points. Wow. All right, well, let's keep going. Now we've got Mr. Luis Cruz. Mr. Cruz, what is your question for Mr. Mack?
Well, thank you. Thank you, Shane. And Mr. Jeff Mack, number one, I want to thank you for taking your time and talking to us and sharing with us some of your leadership thoughts, your values, and I could tell you, being involved in Vidacup International since day one, and being the co-master distributor for the Hispanic market, and I could see your high interest in having everything in Spanish from day one, and I could listen to you, all these answers, elaborate on your answers, and And I can understand that, and I can see a true commitment to excellence, not only from yourself or from the company. So I have one question, and the question is, as the CEO of Vidacup International, what is your vision for the future of this company?
Well, Luis, thank you so much, and again, I appreciate your leadership and what you're doing to help us really span cultures with this company. We'll talk more about that in a minute, but the vision for Vidacup, in from my eyes, is frankly very simple. I mean, from a numeric point of view and a success point of view, I see us reaching a level of $100 million a year in annual sales in 5 years. Now, frankly, I think we can beat that. But one of the things that I think you'll come to learn about me is that I'm pretty conservative in my speak. I like to I hate when people say I want to underpromise and overdeliver, because that's overpromising in and of itself, the statement. But you understand, I think, that I try to be a bit measured in what I say. But I believe that's a realistic number. I believe we can beat that number. But numbers are not the most important thing. The most important thing for me is that we have a happy and productive field team of brand promoters. And what I mean by that is this: I want us to, we in 5 years from now, in 3 to 5 years from now, we have literally changed and transformed the lives from a health perspective of millions of people. And Vidacup will be a brand name that people know about. Our brand promoters will be proud to represent this company, not just because they're happy and productive, but because we are a group of people that people want to be around. Meaning, not just happy, not just productive, but that are good members of society, that like to have a lot of fun, and that recognize and appreciate those around them, that are grateful for where we are and for the blessings that we have, that aren't satisfied with the status quo, that want to continue to get better. That's the vision, frankly, that I have for this company. I see us in 3 years doing business on several different continents, certainly penetration throughout Europe and Asia and Latin America, and hopefully Australia as well. I see us being a company doing business on a global basis, multicultural. I see us a company that is really, less business and more family, if you will, in terms of the way that we feel about our brand promoters and about the relationship between the field and the home office. And last but not least, one of the things that I've talked at great length with Roy about is having opportunities, kind of within our business, but also kind of tangentially related to our business, that our field leaders, our top leaders in the field, can invest their money in so that they can kind of create a more stable wealth. One of the real travesties I see in our industry is wildly successful people that make a ton of money, but then at some point in time down the road, they end up not having any of it. And that's a story that I think is frankly, way too familiar. And we hear way too often. And so I want to be able to not just help our brand promoters create a great lifestyle and a great income, but also on a long-term basis with the Vidacup and tangential to Vidacup, have opportunities to create wealth as well, so that as they move into their retirement years and have a business that they can will to their legacy, that retirement is not really even a second thought, that it's all taken care of. So those are the things that I see. On a macro scale of having a company, and there's no such thing as nirvana. Not everything is perfect, is going to be perfect with everything, but I really want to take those things I've learned about what drives people and what drives companies, and I want to see those embodied and manifested in Vidacup and in the relationship between the home office and our brand promoters in the field. So that's really my vision for this company.
Fantastic, and gosh, what a great, bright future that we've painted here. So that is real powerful. I hope everybody took notes. And if you missed something, go back, listen to this again, catch all those great pieces of information that Mr. Mack has been sharing with us. Now, Mr. Mack, thank you again for your time. Obviously, we really, really appreciate it. So let's give you the opportunity to give us any final thoughts.
All right, Shane, again, I want to thank you and Corey and Luis for having me on this call. And I want to just tell you how gratified I am to have great leaders like the three of you in our business. And you and Corey doing an amazing job, and Luis kind of being our ambassador to the Latino community and to the Latin American culture. I believe, in fact, the past companies I've worked with have really made a big focus to try to penetrate, the Latin American community here in the United States, and it's very difficult to do that successfully without the right leadership. And as you said earlier, leadership is everything. And so, Luis, thank you for what you mean to this company in that regard as well. Excited about what we're going to do, across cultural barriers with our company. Folks, my final word for you is this. We are at a very, very special point in time. Right now, these are minutes, hours, days that we can never call back. I'll tell you that I stay up at night thinking about what we can do to make sure that we meet the expectations of the field. And I would encourage you to spend your time thinking and then taking action on how you can create the best future for yourself with our company. And planning and plotting and thinking, those are all great things, but action is really what makes it happen. And so I just encourage you, seize the day. These are times that we can never call back. And when Vidacup is that $100 million company that we all know it's going to be in a few years, I want you to feel good about the size of the pie that you have in your downline and in your organization. And so my advice, seize the day. Take this seriously. Don't wait another minute to take action to build your better future with Vidacup. Shane, thank you very much, my friend. Back to you.
Oh, and thank you. I mean, those are some real inspiring words, Mr. Mack. And that is all the time we have today. This has been 3 Questions with Mr. Jeff Mack, CEO of Vidacup International. Thanks to the team, Corey, Luis, and, of course, our Vidacup International CEO, Jeff Mack. And thanks for tuning in. Have a wonderful rest of your day.